Hey, aloha kako. Welcome to the season 1 finale of He Moʻolelo Kaʻao no Noʻeau Brian, the college era. As a reward for sticking it out this long with me, I'm going to be choosing 4 lucky participants at random to receive one of these Hawaiian Nation pāpale. For your chances to win, you're going to have to do the following. 1, make sure you're a registered viewer of the series. 2, make sure you like, follow, or subscribe to at least one of the I Ola Hāloa social media accounts. And 3, complete this super short survey that'll let me know how I'm doing as a storyteller of this kaʻao. And oia vale, that's it. Back to the story. So as the whole kahuli situation was burning on down, life kept going. I was enrolled in my first official semester at UH Manoa, taking some of the gen ed classes with my COP friends, so we could get them out of the way. But there were 2 super important classes that I took during my first semester at UH that totally influenced not only my college journey, but my life. Today I'm just gonna focus on one of those classes and we'll save the other for next season. But this class was Hawaiian Language 101, taught by Kumukaluhi Aloha Eldridge. Bruh, this class was intense loa. First of all, I remember going into that class thinking, hey, I took some Olelo Hawaii in high school, so I should be okay. But nope. I swear, the universe likes to make any kind to me sometimes. Cause 1, not only would we not be using class time to practice for epic May Day hula performances, but we'd also be learning Hawaiian language from a completely different puke that uses a totally different method of teaching. And for me, if I'm already ma'a with one style of learning, it takes me forever to adapt to a whole nother way. So this really threw me off. Oh, and lastly, this kumu loved her some hanakeaka action, which we'd be doing a lot of throughout the semester. This is that one class I was referring to in an earlier Mokuna, where we had to do this very dance routine to the song Delirious. But if there's one thing that can be said for sure about this kumu, was that she really had a strong aloha for our people, our language, and our lahui. And this really showed one day when she decided to put all of our usual class lessons on hold, took us to a completely different classroom, had us sit in a circle, dim the lights, and put on the documentary film, and then there were none.
The scarcity of land and escalating land leases dramatically raised our cost of living and lowered our quality of life, creating homelessness, poor health, and poverty. At Waimanalo, on the island of Oahu, homeless Hawaiian families were evicted from a public beach on Hawaiian homelands.
We're not gonna live on the streets! Yeah. We don't have a house! Yeah!
We Hawaiians! This is our land! This is our way of life!
Watching this documentary was like being hit with a bolt of lightning. A lightning bolt that not only triggered a bunch of traumatic memories from back home, but also gave me some answers for why things were the way that they were. And it hurt. To add on to this already traumatic, yet super enlightening experience, as soon as the film was over, we all kind of sat there in silence, processing our feelings, until Kumukaluhi Aloha spoke up and shared with us our own personal story about how one of her kupuna were beaten in school for speaking Hawaiian. And I remember sitting there, already struggling to process everything we just watched. And now we are hearing this super personal mo'olelo from our kumu. And I remember feeling these 2 specific emotions: shame and anger. Shame that at 18 years old, a high school graduate, as someone who claimed to be this proud Hawaiian, that I had absolutely no idea that our people were beaten for speaking their own language. In fact, I didn't know about most of the issues that were brought up in that film. We definitely didn't learn that kind of stuff at Pohoa High. And as for my ohana back home, I mean, while we talk small kind about stuff like the overthrow, how our queen was in prison, how haules had basically come over and screwed over our people, my family back home was very much disconnected from a lot of things Hawaii. We definitely weren't taught about how the historical events in the past continue to affect us in the present. And instead, my family was very much so caught up in the American rat race of money and success, which we obviously struggled to do and continue to struggle to do. So after our kumu shared that super heavy story with us, Kumu Kuluhi Aloha encouraged us to all continue in our pursuit of Hawaiian language and Hawaiian knowledge. And to not think of what we were doing in class as just class assignments, but to see all of our lessons as a means to take back what was wrongfully taken away from our kupuna. I walked out of class that day with 2 fellow Hoa COP, and we promised ourselves that no matter what happens, no matter what college threw at us, no matter what we majored in, even if our majors didn't require it of us, that we keep going in our Olelo Hawaii classes until we reach the highest level, which was 402. And I can proudly say that we 3 kept our promise. It wasn't easy, but we did it. Ua ko. Mahalo again for journeying with me throughout the beginning stages of my college journey. See you all in season 2. Aloha.